George H.W. Bush died. What else you got?
Well, let's see. Where do we want to go with this? I've got a lot,
Speaking
so
of
I'm gonna.
sexual allegations,
I've got some of those. Go
our
ahead.
our, our good old pal Neil Degrasse Tyson, the head scientist in the world aside
Oh,
from Bill Nye today.
I was gonna say, are you saying he's better than Bill Nye?
Yes, probably actually. I
Is
mean,
he related to Mike Tyson? I mean,
yes,
they are both.
100%.
They are both.
Confirmed.
They're both. You know,
Men?
yes,
Ah,
yes,
okay.
men.
Uh, this comes from USA Today, so you know it's legit. Neil deGrasse Tyson denies misconduct allegations, welcomes Fox slash Nat Geo investigation. Before we get into this, I gotta say, uh, you know, I don't like the guy. I don't like the things that he stands for. I don't like the things he talks about. I don't like his smug, arrogant attitude. I don't like the way he pretends to be the giver and keeper of all knowledge when he's
Hmm.
99% an actor. I don't really care about this guy's opinion all that much. Yeah, is he smarter than me? Yep. Do I trust him? Not really, for many reasons that I've stated on the show. But I do. I give everybody a fair shake when it comes to this type of thing because this type of thing is getting freaking retarded. But two more women, including a fellow astronomer, say Neil deGrasse Tyson is guilty of inappropriate sexual conduct. Dr. Caitlin Allers, associate professor of physics and astronomy at Bucknell University, told me that she was, quote, felt up by Tyson at an after party following a meeting of the American Astronomical Society, AAS, not ASS, didn't have a mechanism for reporting sexual harassment at the time, but Dr. Allers says she probably would report the incident if it happened today. There was no way to report sexual misconduct. How about the cops? Isn't that a good place to start?
Yeah,
Like,
I would think so.
uh, you know, I guess that's not good enough. If there's not a company policy on sexual assault, you're not allowed to go to the cops. The groping incident allegedly took place at an after party following the AAS meeting in 2019, or no, 2009, which took place in Long Beach. This was
So
supposed,
9 years ago.
yes, this was supposed to be a lighthearted social event to show that astronomers could have fun, according to Dr. Allures. Yeah, you. I like how her last name is Allures. Allure? Hmm.
Ew.
Lure.
Ew.
She lured him.
Oh.
Anyway, quote, Tyson was there and he was dancing and drinking and all of that at the party. So a friend and I decided to get a picture with him. But after the first picture was taken, above left, which just shows her taking a normal picture side by side, Tyson decided to explore Dr. Allure's tattoo. It features a realistic solar system. You're using the word realistic pretty lax for an astrophysicist or whatever. It's a tattoo, buddy. Um,
It was extremely realistic tattoo, though.
yes. It features a solar system that stretches from her arm to her back and collarbone area. Did you hear exactly the details of this? Did
I'm
you see
kind
the
of
headline?
freezing over them now that he
Yeah.
followed Pluto into her dress, is what
Yes.
it says.
He followed the tattoo into my dress. Basically, he went, "Oh, what's that?" And this is on her back, and she's got like basically a sleeveless dress. You can see in the picture, so you can see her shoulder, and he just like peeked behind to like look at the rest of the solar system, and he said he wanted to see if Pluto was like if she included Pluto, which to me that seems like very much nothing.
It depends on the context, really. Was it
Did
like,
he like grab
is
her and
Pluto
whip her
back
around?
there? You
They
know,
say that he groped her, but if he's like, I mean, if he's looking at it and she's like turning around showing him, and he just like peeks in, I mean, that would
like
be
I
the
said,
normal behavior, but
you'd
I don't
have
know.
to really get context out of it because if he's just like, oh, you included Pluto, haha, that's funny because Pluto's not a planet, like Neil deGrasse Tyson would do.
Right,
Or was he like, I wonder if Pluto's in there,
right.
and like slides his hand back to
Doesn't say
see.
anything about that. It says he groped her, but it never says anything other than he grabbed her arm and looked. Um, I don't know. There are two other people that are alleging things against him. One of them is like straight up rape,
Yeah,
and
I just saw
drugged
it.
him or drugged
Yeah, it
her.
says he apologized for that incident, but denied allegations that where was it at? That it says he denied lingering allegation that he drugged and raped a woman while they were in grad school together. So yeah, more people are coming out. It's like, who did you piss off? Well, I mean, we keep going back to this.
Yeah,
And his response in his apology said was he only just learned 9 years after that she thought his behavior was creepy.
right.
He's like, and he's deeply sorry to have made her feel that way. It's just like, well, I didn't know you had a problem with it till now.
Right.
Thanks for the wait. So
She
it's
she
just
didn't
like,
say anything to him or anybody else at the time, other than, I mean, they're I'm not reading this whole thing. It's really long, but uh, as far as I can see, she didn't like report it to anybody, and her excuse is that the AAS didn't have a policy or something set up to report that type of thing, so she couldn't report it. I even read in one part she felt like she it didn't say she felt this way or she said this thing. The article said she could not report it. Like, she could report it.
you can
She could
always
report it
report
to
it.
authorities.
It wasn't like 1963 where women felt like they didn't have, well, women didn't have the same rights. And if they spoke out of turn, they get smacked in the face or something. It's
Yeah.
not like, I mean, yeah, I guess depends on the situation, like the power structure there where she felt like her career was in jeopardy or whatever. But still, you can't say in 2009 that she couldn't report it because
Right.
people were reporting stuff in 2009. I promise you.
Right. This goes on to say Dr. Allers is probably how you actually pronounce her name since there are two L's. Didn't feel like she was in danger during her encounter with Tyson, but she did describe it as uncomfortable and creepy. That interaction also made her think twice about allegations brought by what? Amet. That's how you pronounce her first name. Is Tchiya. Tchiya.
ECH Chia? I just said
Tchiya.
Chia,
No, I like I'm going to include
Chia.
the T in there. A musician who says Tyson raped her in his apartment when they were grad students together. Also not reported. And also she couldn't remember a single detail of the incident because she was drugged, she says. This is a quote from Dr. Allers. I think that he is someone that could use his position of fame and power in a way to try and take advantage. Yes, could being the most important word in that entire sentence. But is he? That's the only real question here. As if this allegation wasn't shocking enough, it came within days of my interview with Ashley
Goodness.
Watson, a former assistant to Tyson who says she was forced to quit her job due to his inappropriate sexual advances. Watson
So
worked.
these are unrelated?
Yeah, none of these are related to each other. It's just,
Well,
I mean,
so
Tyson.
it's not like, oh, I heard about this person, and so I'm coming out too. It's just like, just happens to come moments later, this person
Oh, I
stepped
don't
out at the
know.
same time. In my opinion, even if they are related, timing is everything.
Yeah,
Timing is not like coincidental. Like something happened, he pissed off somebody, or he's rubbing somebody the wrong way, and now everything's coming out. It's just like the whole Kavanaugh thing. Even if it did happen the way his accuser said, they just happened to come out at the last minute, right before he's about to get voted into the Supreme Court.
right.
It's just like timing is not coincidental. There is a reason there. Everyone is deciding right at this moment. You know what? Neil deGrasse Tyson touched me too.
I haven't read into this third case. The other two, the first one I find completely nonsense, most likely, from the evidence that I've been given, which is a picture of him looking at her arm and a picture of her getting a picture with him. And the second one, which was actually I don't know where they are in chronological order, but the second one in the story about the rape, I mean, basically she just like Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, has zero evidence to corroborate her story as far as I can tell. I could be wrong. But she doesn't remember a single detail about the entire event except for she woke up with him and she doesn't like him now. So reading on to this one, Watson worked directly with Tyson for several months. She says that during that time, he put her in an uncomfortable situation by attempting to persuade her into sex and demonstrated his, quote, predatory tendencies. Does that mean he asked you out on a date?
Like,
In
what was
2018,
the
that's what that
first? What
means.
was the first? Read the beginning of that sentence.
She worked directly with him. He put her in uncomfortable situations by attempting to persuade her into sex.
To persuade her.
Mm-hmm. We'll read on.
Doesn't anybody that you have sex with, don't you attempt to
Well,
creepily attempt to persuade them?
unless they're attempting to persuade you, which doesn't happen with most men too commonly. But
Right.
in hindsight, there were red flags that she chose to not pay attention to, Watson told me in an interview. Specifically, Watson said Tyson occasionally made misogynistic comments and that he kept a list of overweight actresses on his phone to prove that women aren't inhibited by portrayals in the media when it comes to health and fitness. What? What does that even mean?
Women aren't inhibited, so
Yeah.
he keeps their weight to show that, hey, portrayal of skinny actresses in Hollywood doesn't keep people from.
I don't see how that's misogynistic. He's
No,
saying your
I
claims about this are wrong and showing
right.
evidence of it. He allegedly
It
said it.
sounds almost the opposite, but I don't really know how that works, I guess.
He allegedly said it was untrue that women feel pressured to be skinny based on a societal standard. Watson says she doesn't know whether or not the serious allegations put forth by Ahmet are true, but that she sent her a message of support after her encounter with Tyson anyway. I obtained a copy of that message, which has been redacted to protect Watson's privacy.
I
Hi.
like how they just come out and support without. She's like, I have no idea, but I'm supporting her.
Right. That's the thing. I support all victims. I support all people who have gone through crap like this, of course. But you have to have evidence for it. You can't just say, that person raped me, whatever. Otherwise, I could say Hillary Clinton raped me, and how far do you think that would get me in an argument against her? Not very
You
far.
probably die.
Just like, yeah, exactly.
What?
Watson says that she had been working directly under Tyson, who called out Trump in 2016 by saying he would grab him by the crotch when they met, and that they got along well. That all changed, however, when he invited his underling to his apartment at around 10:30 p.m. to, quote, share a bottle of wine and, quote, find or unwind for a couple of hours. What is that? I mean, he basically said in intellectual terms, hey, Netflix and chill at my place at 10:30. What'd you think was going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, even if he was advancing on her and trying to lure her back for sexual relations, that's not rape. That's not harassment. That's not anything.
Yeah.
You're not being molested or anything. He hasn't like made super uncomfortable advances. If he kept pushing the issue, like, hey, dude, my place tonight. Hey, you look really good with your clothes off at my place. Do you know it look really good in my bed? That's getting to borderline harassment there. But if he just said,
then I'm gonna have to read the next paragraph.
Okay.
Now, while I read this next paragraph, close your eyes and imagine Neil deGrasse Tyson, in this scenario. You got him in your head. You got the mustache. You got the overweight,
All right, hang on, let me
chubby
look at
little
him real
science
quick.
man.
Okay, got him.
Gotcha. All right. Upon entering his apartment, Tyson allegedly took off his shoes and shirt, remaining in a tank top undershirt. Unfortunately, the night only got more awkward as Tyson, who is married, reportedly put on romantic music and played the most graphic parts. What does that mean? What are the most graphic parts in romantic music?
Was he playing?
It was like a porn soundtrack or what?
Well, I hear like when you say romantic music, I hear like classical music or like Michael Bublé or something like that. But then you throw in the most graphic parts, I think of like Snoop Dogg or something like that.
Right.
Some rapper, dirty gangster rapper. It's just like you're not making any sense right here because I don't know if I've heard too much romantic music.
All right, we're switching. Parts. We're switching, baby. We're not learning about astral theology tonight or whatever. We're learning about some chemistry, honey. She says Tyson soon brought out a cutting board and a knife and cut blocks of cheese that he decided they would share. But before slicing the snack, he allegedly gestured toward her with the knife and made a comment about stabbing. just pick. Okay,
you know what I can do?
Just pick the story that you want. Pick the story. Is he like a sexual assaultist, or is he like an axe murderer? Like, What do you want? I mean, let's set the stage here. There's romantic music that for some reason has profanity in it, like Bach with Snoop Dogg lyrics, and Neil deGrasse Tyson in a wife beater, his little doughy self in a wife beater.
Can't say wife beater.
Okay, and a shirt or whatever they're calling them.
Under, what did they call it? An under tank top, undershirt tank top. And
Sure,
I knew as soon as you read that they they probably originally typed up
right,
wife
wife
beater
beater.
shirt,
Yes.
and the editor was like, you cannot say wife beater in this
They're both
article.
like two glasses of wine in, and he's like, "Would you like some cheese?" And he goes over and starts cutting cheese, and he's like, "You know, I could also murder you right now." He's basically a narrator for a Cosmos TV show. That's the go-to thing for like his credentials and what people know him by.
Ah,
Uh,
just like Bill Nye's credentials are Bill Nye the Science Guy.
yep, which was a sketch comedy show originally. But Watson says she took the comment as a bad joke, but it's important to note that this type of quote joke is exactly what people in power need to keep in mind when dealing with subordinates. And it set the stage for a night filled with subtle intimidation and sexual advances. Quote, it was definitely a very weird power move, she said. Then leave. Did he stop you? Did he hold you down?
It doesn't say. I mean, from what you read, maybe we
Okay,
haven't
there's
got that far
more.
in the story. Of course, there always is. Why do we talk before we read?
I don't know. We just blow our load early every time, just like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Watson says Tyson started talking about how every human being needs certain, quote, releases in life,
It's
including.
true though. It's true.
It's true. It's a fact, including physical releases. Still a fact. Just keep it to yourself, buddy. He reportedly mentioned how difficult it had been for him to be away from home for several months. Watson says Tyson asked her if she needed any releases, and she responded with a story about sexual harassment she endured in the past. It was a smart way to diffuse the tension, but she says he wasn't phased. How is that a smart way to diffuse the tension? Well, I like the words you're saying, but did you know that I was raped?
Did you know I was
Okay.
sexual? Or it's just an analogy. There was once this person
Once upon a
who
time.
went, who was invited by their superior to a home and offered wine and romantic music, and then was propositioned for sex, and that was sexual harassment.
And they all lived uncomfortably after. He said he wanted to show her a Native American handshake. It involved holding hands tightly, making eye contact, and feeling for each other's pulse.
I'm going to award you with 5 minutes of uninterrupted eye contact.
Yeah, it's basically
Just
what
like
this sounds like, yes.
stared uncomfortably into her eyes.
So he gave her this handshake and he asked to, like, rub her back and stuff. Supposedly had inappropriate sexual comments. And the next day, she confronted him because she felt he had betrayed her as a mentor. He reportedly told her in that meeting that she'd never rise through the ranks in her career because she was too, quote, distracting. If that is accurate, guy's a scumbag, and he deserves everything he's getting right now. She decided to quit after the negative interactions with Tyson, and that she told the
As she
story.
should.
Yeah, she told
As
the. Well,
anyone
she
in that
shouldn't have to.
situation should do.
She shouldn't
No, she
quit. She
shouldn't.
should be reporting it. Yes.
Yeah.
And
But
that.
I mean, if it keeps happening, she should quit and then um, push forward with charges or whatever
Right.
then.
Yeah. The story, she told to at least one supervisor in hopes that he wouldn't hire more female assistants for the astrophysicist. Not that he wouldn't. Not that. So you're not gonna give the guy problems. You're not gonna like, file charges against him. You're saying let's not hire any more women for him to work with.
It's
Leave
not
Harvey
the
Weinstein
solution.
in place. Stop hiring female actresses. That's the
Right.
solution.
That's just saying the females are what's the problem, not Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, that person reportedly supported her decision to quit and said she should tell everyone she had a family emergency to avoid more uncomfortable situations. So, again, yeah, if any of this is true, then the guy's a creep. The first one's nothing, in my opinion, from what it sounds like. The rape one is really hard to believe all that much because there's not much to even discuss. And the third one, she's got a lot of details, but then she quits her job without telling anybody. And the only person she told, she said, hey, stop hiring women. Like, it all seems fishy, and as much as I would be fine with seeing Neil deGrasse Tyson go down because I don't like the guy very much, I give him the benefit of the doubt that he should get just that I gave to Brett Kavanaugh and Louis C.K. and all the people that are going through this. It's like we have to actually be talking about facts here. If we're not talking about facts, then you are a much worse person than a guy who looked at your tattoo that you showed him. I'm sorry.
From what I've heard about the guy, like obviously I haven't heard him speak because I don't know what he sounds like, but I have read some of his smug comments and stuff like that on certain situations. Even like the flat earth stuff, I don't have any subscription to, but his smug comments towards it just make me want to subscribe
I
more
like how
to.
you're the one who brought it up. I was not going to bring it up. You're the one
Well,
who
you
brought it
knew.
up.
I know what you're thinking. Everybody knows what you're thinking. You didn't even have to bring it up. But I'm just saying, his comments on that just is like, well, now I just want to read into it just to spite your smug attitude.
Yes.
Because
and to
you're just
recap,
being an asshole.
on that, after Bob came out saying that he was a flat earther and all that, Neil deGrasse Tyson goes on one of the late night shows, I think Jimmy Kimmel or something, and he gives some speech. He's a celebrity scientist. Like, he has very little credibility in my mind. He's just a spokesperson for a group. But he goes on and he gives this like super smug spiel that's just 100% entertainment, and then he like does a mic drop at the end, and he's like, if you want to believe in the Earth is flat, that's fine. You are allowed to believe whatever you want. But if you're an influencer of thought and you choose to believe that, then you are a danger to society and whatever. And the progression of humanity. Like, he made it this huge deal that a guy believed that the earth was flat. And whether or not I believe the earth is flat has nothing to do with this. It's the fact that he said, you're a danger if you believe that. And then he has said multiple times, the earth is either a pear shape, an oblate spheroid, or maybe we're all living in a simulation. So the Earth being flat, that's not okay to say. That's a danger to humanity, but you can say it doesn't exist at all. The Earth isn't real is an okay thing to say from a leading name in science. So, it's just hypocritical.
Proof shows, according to the science that I've conducted, I can strongly say that the Earth could basically be anything except flat.
Right. Yep. And there's nothing that you can do to disprove that the Earth is a projection or a simulation, because any science that you use to disprove it, it's just a part of the simulation. So who cares? But yeah, he's comfortable hanging his hat on that.
A simulation on the flat Earth.
Yeah, him being an anti-flat earther and a smug douchebag is not so much the issue as it is him being a hypocrite.
He's not so much pushing what the Earth is, it's just he's completely just against the flat Earth, and that's it. It's just like, I'm not gonna go off.
Makes me want to believe it more.
Right. I'm not gonna go out and just make a blanket statement saying that the Earth is definitely a sphere, because it could be a pear or it could be a simulation, but it's definitely not flat, obviously.
Anyway, we're not gonna get down that rabbit trail too deeply tonight. That's all. If Neil deGrasse Tyson is a scumbag, then let him burn. Let him burn in the kindling that he has set before himself. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But if not, I'm going to need more facts to call him out as like a sexual predator at this point. That's just me. You're muted or something.
Let's switch topics.
All right, cool.